is Gerhard Gschwandtner and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the pleasure of meeting with Praful Saklani. He's co-founder and CEO of Pramada. Welcome, Praful.
Thank you, Gerhard. Very glad you could join us in our offices.
Could you give us a high-level view of where you see data, intelligence, and analytics moving?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at it from the perspective of sales, that there's a lot of information out there about customers and the general view of what are trends in your market and who you should be identifying. But I think there's a real demand for information that lets people specifically zero in on these very detailed questions about their customers. In the old days, people used to share general competitive information. There might have been dossiers or briefings on here's what we've done with this customer in the past. I think today with CRM, people have account pages. There's oftentimes pages and pages of information on who's working this account, when was the last time we spoke to them. But then there's questions like, what have I sold to this customer in the past? How many deals did I do? How did those deals look like compared to deals I did with other similar customers? So a lot of details about that customer still require people to just hunt around to try and find that information. So at Pramada, we're going back to the source of that key information, which is the contracts that underlie these complex relationships. Those contracts tell you a lot, and they tell you, what was agreed to, what was different, what was sold. And so Pramada goes back to that source, and then we marry that up with information from other systems like billing systems. So you can say, this is what we sold, this is what they actually bought, and then we make that all available inside CRM. So suddenly you can get all of these details without going and hunting around all over the place.
So it saves time, but what is the advantage in terms of insight?
Common thing that we hear is that, the first thing I need to do is I need to understand what's the current state. In fact, one of our customers, when we first implemented the system, she came to us, a salesperson, and said, hey, I think your data is wrong because you're showing that this customer has some products that I haven't sold them. And then when we showed her that, no, there's some contracts that underlie this, that she said, oh, somebody in a different region must have sold something to this customer, and that's important information to have. So you can look across all of your accounts inside the Pramada system, and you can say, okay, I have 50 accounts. Which are the ones where there are key triggers coming up this quarter or over the next 180 days, where there might be expirations, there might be a price increase, there might be some kind of a special customer option, and what were the deal sizes associated with those customers, and say, oh, these are the 3 I should be focusing on. So now you're focusing on those customers, so you can say, okay, what have I sold to this customer in the past? Is it a ripe candidate for a cross-sell because they bought product A and product B but not product C? But then there's a third one, which I think your audience will really appreciate, is you're ready to do a deal, and now there's a big process you have to go through to get the deal through. If you have all that information together, you can say, we've worked with this customer before, this is special pricing that we agreed to before, I think we should continue it because of this reason, and you're not finding these things out during the deal process. And so we regularly have salespeople say, wait, stop, hold on. Right. So you're saying you're going to put all of this right there in my CRM, and I'll be able to get right at this on minute 1, not after a whole bunch of different accumulation. Yes, it is that total view of the customer, and it's going back to the source, which is the contracts, and then tying it in with the other information.
So where do you see the future?
I see a situation where salespeople have all of the critical details about their current customer relationships at their fingertips without any friction in terms of getting at that information. And once you have that information, you can start to do really interesting things with, tell me the next best product I should sell. Tell me the next opportunity with this given customer.
So, final question. Do you have a particular use case that you want to share?
So one of our most collaborative customers is a company called CenturyLink, which is one of the largest telecom providers in the country. And they have over 5,000 sales users that are leveraging Pramada daily. And there, they've used it in the context of their retention objective, where they actually can identify which of their accounts are at the highest risk, and they can actually encourage salespeople to take on accounts that before might have been too small for them to work because of all the work involved in understanding what have we sold to these people, and where's the documentation, and what are the roadblocks to a deal. And so they estimate that they've increased their retention by 4.5%. They've also increased sales team capacity or productivity by over 15%, again, because of all the steps that have been taken out of the process. And when we talk to their sales teams, they regularly say things like, this is amazing, this has given me a lot of time back, it's allowed me to understand my customer much more effectively. So that's an example of when you really leverage Pramada's solution in the enterprise, you can do something that's both good for the business and popular with the sales team.
Thank you. For anybody who'd like to get more information, go to pramada.com. Thank you, Praful.
Thank you, Gerhard. I really appreciate it.